Is imitation truly the sincerest form of flattery? Or does it actually highlight a lack of innovation in today's fast-paced digital economy? Well, in a world where the race to lead the AI revolution intensifies, the question I ask today is, how do companies distinguish themselves not just as participants, but as pioneers? Well, today I've got the privilege of exploring these thought-provoking questions with the Chief Strategy Officer at Icertis. Her name's Deanna, and she's going to talk more about a company that's at the forefront of AI innovation and the first contract lifecycle management entity to be valued at more than $1 billion. Yeah, we're talking a huge unicorn here. So Icertis over the years, though, has carved a niche for itself by managing more than 10 million contracts with over 1 trillion across 40 plus languages and more than 93 countries. And it's their collaborations with giants like Microsoft, SAP and Salesforce that have not only underscored their industry leadership, but also positioned them as a beacon of innovation in this AI landscape. So today I want to learn more about AI trends that enterprises should brace for this year, maybe dissect the dynamics between AI innovators and imitators, and articulate why developing unique AI strategies is imperative for setting new standards and pushing boundaries in the digital domain. Especially considering that nearly half of C-suite leaders acknowledge the fact that AI's impending impact on their bottom lines within the next year, combined with an additional 36% predicting the effects to last for 2 to 5 years, this dialogue promises to be both timely and transformative. Now, before I get today's guest on, a quick shout out to the sponsors of Tech Talks Daily, because in today's remote first world, I think settling for outdated managed file transfer solutions means ultimately you're risking your sensitive data. But if you upgrade to Kiteworks, the gold standard in secure MFT, boasting FedRAMP moderate authorization, Kiteworks isn't just secure, it's a complete transformation of how your business handles file transfers and communications. And with this state-of-the-art file sharing, email security, and a platform that's as robust as it is user-friendly, Kiteworks is empowering you to manage and protect your data like never before. So say goodbye to compromise and hello to unmatched security and efficiency, and you can do that by making the switch to kiteworks.com. Visit kiteworks.com to begin. That's kiteworks.com to secure your data and empower your business. But now, let's get today's guest on. So buckle up and hold on tight as I beam your ears all the way to Seattle, where Deanna is waiting to share her story. So a massive warm welcome to the show. Can you tell everyone listening a little about who you are and what you do?
Sure. Well, thank you so much for the opportunity. Deanna Lanier. I'm Chief Strategy Officer at Icertis. Icertis is a leader in contract intelligence, and my specific role is helping the company expand its operations, broaden its footprint, and accelerate the customer outcomes that we want to deliver. And a second part of my role is actually managing our Microsoft 360-degree relationship as well. Microsoft is a key partner for us around co-innovation and how we enrich the customer experience. And so that's part of my remit as well.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to sit down and join me today. There's so much I want to talk with you about because artificial intelligence is everywhere at the moment. There is so many different debates around the ethics around it, and in particular around imitation and copyright versus AI innovation. So I've got to ask, just to set the scene for our conversation today, in an era where imitation is commonplace throughout the digital economy, how are you at Icertis differentiating yourself through innovation in AI, particularly in the contract lifecycle management space? What are you doing here?
Yeah, great question. And I would answer that in a few ways. We're doing this in a few ways. One, we're making contracts intelligent. And so that means we're bringing purpose-built AI with contract data that reflects any and every transaction that a business does to create a contract. And two, since contracts are the single source of truth for a relationship between two businesses, including their suppliers and partners and customers, that means the contract data is one of the most valuable untapped assets in the enterprise. And it's a prime resource to fuel innovation with AI. So by connecting millions of contracts and infusing their data into core operations, enterprises can create rich pools of AI-powered insights to inform better decision making, and also accelerate the pace at which the business is running. And I would say the third thing is that we are uniquely positioned to deliver customer value in the age of AI. AI models are only as good as the data that they're trained on. And we have the largest, richest data set in the world. We have 2 billion metadata elements. We have over 10 million contracts, and they're worth more than $1 trillion. So leveraging this data enables us to deliver more powerful, advanced AI that learns at a faster pace so we can accelerate the delivery of the value proposition and the assets. And the last thing I will say about this is we also were a launch partner for Microsoft Azure OpenAI. As I mentioned earlier, part of my role managing that Microsoft relationship, it's very key to us, especially as we continue to innovate around the AI.
And last year, I spent a lot of time in the US on the tech conference scene and the circuit there. And obviously, AI at the beginning of the year was quite a new thing. Well, obviously, AI has been around absolutely years, but people going crazy for it, the mainstream adoption for it really kicked off in the first 6 months. And everyone from Adobe to Cisco were getting involved and implementing it into their products. And as we look ahead, though, now, as businesses some are sat on the sidelines, a little bit cautious on what they can do next. Others are going headfirst in. I'm curious, you're right in the coalface here. What are the key AI trends that enterprises need to be aware of here in 2024? And also, how are you at Icertis? How are you preparing to align with or maybe even lead some of these new trends too?
And I will answer that in a couple of ways. So in 2024, which we have just started, we're seeing increased demand for enterprise AI solutions. And companies are also looking at, well, if I deploy AI, I bring AI into the organization, am I getting the value? And so we conducted an AI pulse survey, which gave us great insights. What we learned is nearly half of the C-suite leaders agree AI will impact their bottom line in 2020, and an additional 36% predict its financial effects will be realized in the next 2 to 5 years. So really looking at AI as a economic game changer for their organizations. We also have realized that the AI market will continue to become more crowded in 2024 because new entrants are joining this multi-billion-dollar space. But we also note that companies with established roots in AI who have a rich history in agile and authentic innovation are poised to win over the competition. And going back to the AI Pulse survey, we learned that 56% of senior leaders are prioritizing AI use cases that have immediate impact on their revenue or cost. And 37% of those are prioritizing use cases with an immediate impact on reducing risk for their business. So contract intelligence, and specifically Icertis contract intelligence, can deliver on all those accounts. In 2023, you saw the emergence of copilots, and we have really taken advantage of this opportunity in the market. And in 2023, we actually delivered Icertis Copilot. This was the first generation AI applications for enterprise contract intelligence. And we were able to deliver these to leaders in the space like PwC, Hewlett Packard, Compass Group, Continental AG, and Genpact. They've selected Icertis Copilots to responsibly harness the power of Gen AI in their enterprises.
And at the very beginning of our conversation, I kind of highlighted that the digital landscape is fraught with AI copycats. And I suspect that every business leader is being bombarded with vendors at the moment, stating that every new solution has got AI inside of it, even if it hasn't sometimes. So in your view, what strategies are best used to enable AI innovators to outcompete these imitators? And how are you at Icertis implementing some of these strategies just to bring it to life for people listening?
Sure. So, AI copycats in the context of the tech industries are companies that imitate the AI innovations and solutions developed by pioneers in the field rather than creating original proprietary technologies. And this also extends to AI-driven business models and how companies adopt similar approaches to monetization, customer engagement, data usage, and service delivery that have proven successful for innovative companies. So rather than looking toward the competitors, what the competitors are offering, and emulating a similar approach, companies that build unique customer-centric enterprise AI that set new standards, push boundaries, uphold responsible and ethical AI, that's really important, and drive AI conversations will not only differentiate from the industry players, but emerge as industry leaders. And just a supporting proof point here, 56% of the C-suite leaders agree that AI will incite greater competition by minimizing gaps between competitors. So some companies, of course, innovative pioneers in AI will rise. And AI has the potential to transform entire industries and ways of working. So to thrive in generative AI era, business must focus on strategies that not only adapt to current market conditions, but also pioneer innovation. And we're doing that. So Icertis is implementing our own strategies on this front. And one of the ways we're doing this is through deep partnerships and seamless integrations with partners, as I mentioned, like Microsoft and SAP, that we feel that our competitors cannot match. 2, we continue to deliver vertical solutions to meet complex contracting requirements for each industry. Most recently, the launch of Icertis, a contract intelligence specifically for government contractors. And 3, our enterprise-grade AI innovation provides today's companies with near limitless powers of analysis and oversight at their fingertips. So with AI, businesses can automate the tracking of contracts, look at the critical data that they contain, and make business decisions from that data.
And I think as the pace of technological change continues to move at breakneck speed, there's almost like a gold rush feel about what's happening at the moment. And it can be very distracting for business leaders that are constantly looking over their shoulder at what everybody else is doing. And I love what you're saying here about adopting your own strategy and focus on what you're doing, right? So just to expand on that, why do you think it is so crucial for companies to develop that unique AI strategy that not only sets new standards, but maybe even pushes boundaries? And maybe share a few examples of how you're doing this at Icertis too?
Yes, happy to. And I think that, the execution of AI technology really requires agility and speed to innovation. And so agility becomes a critical asset to stay ahead of the competition. And agility is what we have brought into our organization to be able to respond to our clients' needs at a rapid pace. So we're developing unique AI strategies that are crucial for companies to secure the competitive edge and enable us to foster faster continued innovation. And companies will need to define their areas of differentiation and distinction to clearly showcase their unique services and features in 2024. Understanding that AI is a pervasive asset that can help redefine and re-anchor a company in a variety of ways is a crucial part of that. And then beyond differentiation, it's important for companies to cultivate AI strategies steeped in disruptive mindset that challenge conventional wisdom and break from established practices in the way that they fundamentally change the market or create entirely new markets. So embracing this mindset is crucial for sustained growth, continuous advancement, and market leadership. And from the early stages, Icertis has maintained this approach, constantly redefined in contract lifecycle management category, and will continue to do so as we innovate and evolve and set new standards for this new era of Gen AI.
Before you came on the podcast today, I was doing a little research, just trying to refresh myself on what you're doing at Icertis at the moment and any big news or announcements. So one of the things that really stood out to me is that you've partnered with giants from Microsoft, SAP to Salesforce, so many big names there. So got me curious, how do these collaborations enhance Icertis' AI AI capabilities and offerings. And anybody listening that are your customers, of course, what benefits do these partnerships bring to them?
Well, partnerships in our ecosystem are critical to our success and critical to the innovation that I just mentioned as well. Yeah. They really help share customers. They really help share the contract intelligence story with our customers, helping our customers learn how to run their businesses, not just for contracting, but contract-driven processes for their enterprise, and ultimately enabling these companies to increase revenue, reduce cost, ensure compliance, and manage risk. And so we have rapidly emerged as the contract intelligence partner of choice for Microsoft, Accenture, SAP, Deloitte, KPMG, and PwC, to name some. And they are technology and consulting leaders themselves. So we're proud to have this relationship with them. So we continue to deepen our partnership with SAP to deliver joint product roadmap, seamless integrations that are really important to our customers that support faster negotiations, greater compliance, and AI-powered insights and automation for the customer. And Icertis Explore AI service, as I mentioned earlier when I talked a bit about the co-pilots, is built on Azure OpenAI. So working closely with Microsoft in this partnership, but really utilizing that power of us working together to enable the security and reliability that large-scale enterprises need to responsibly integrate AI into their core business operations. And lastly, I'll say that, both PwC and Microsoft are making multi-billion-dollar investments to expand and scale their AI offerings, and partnering with Icertis is part of that roadmap.
And another big stat that I read when I was doing that research was that you manage contracts in over 40 languages across 93 countries, which just blew my mind completely. So I've got to ask, bearing in mind everything we're talking about today here, how does AI play a role in overcoming some of the challenges of scale and localization in Icertis' operations and make stats like that I just read out so much easier?
Yes. Well, AI significantly enhances our ability and the ability of companies like Icertis to manage the complexities of operating across diverse languages, cultures, and legal landscapes. And so by leveraging AI for translation, automation, compliance, and data analysis, companies can ensure that they get efficient, accurate, scalable contract management processes on a global scale that can deliver value to the entire enterprise.
And also, with Icertis leading in AI and being the first client lifecycle management company valued at more than $1 billion, a unicorn in every sense of the word, what do you see as the future of contract lifecycle management? How will AI continue to transform this space? Because you're doing so many exciting things in this space. I'd love to learn more about where you see it all heading as well.
Yes, this is the exciting part, certainly the future. But the integration of AI, machine learning, and blockchain is poised to elevate CLM and thus the category by automating and streamlining processes with minimal human intervention. And that's a significant leap towards intelligent contracting. So in the future, autonomous contracting will allow systems to negotiate contracts based on historical data and real-time situations. So this includes the capability for contracts to interconnect, integrate, and automatically update at a global scale in response to macroeconomic factors. So the future of transformation of AI and contracting hinges on transactions against the contracts, not just data. So the combination of AI and blockchain, that certainly creates a powerful synergy where autonomous contracting becomes not only intelligent, but also adaptive. So in 2022, the integration of AI and blockchain into contracts stands as a potential game changer for companies seeking a competitive advantage.
And finally, for any enterprise looking to innovate in AI, is there any advice that you'd give to any strategists or decision makers that might be listening to ensure that they are also building robust, future-proof AI strategies? I appreciate it's a big question and it covers so many different industries, but any advice for AI strategists out there?
I would say that, continuous learning, being a lifelong learner is something that I certainly treasure and I put as one of my top priorities for myself and And I would challenge other companies to think this way as well. My career has been a combination of working with technology companies like Microsoft and Adobe and others, as well as management consulting. I spent some time at McKinsey & Company and KPMG. And I would say one of the common threads was embracing this lifelong learning mentality. And it's really the core to staying ahead of the rapid evolving landscape of technology and business. So this journey of continuous education is fueled by curiosity, and it's a vital driver of innovation and the very element that has positioned Icertis as a leader in this field. My personal commitment to being a lifelong learner, as I mentioned, reflects this ethos. And I think learning through others is also a great priority to put in front of us in the vein of lifelong learning. And I do that via my macro mentor groups that keep me abreast of market trends and themes that will impact the future of work. And I do this also through my micro networks. So networks that are helping me personally through the many ups and downs of career and personal, and, how do you bring your best self into the work that you do every day. So those networks are also key to our lifelong learning mantra.
Absolutely love that. And in nearly 3,000 interviews with leaders, I'm often asked, what is the most common traits in successful leaders? And I would say the one word that keeps coming up is simply being curious and wanting to continuously learn and being interested in everything. So thank you so much for sharing how you self-educate and on this journey of continuous learning, because it can feel quite challenging, which is something we all have to deal with at the moment. But for anyone listening wanting to dig a little bit deeper on anything we talked about today, maybe contact you or your team or find out more information about Icertis, where would you like to point everyone listening?
I would like to point them to my LinkedIn profile. You'll see lots of information there about Icertis, but also some of the relevant publications and articles around AI, as well as mentorship that I mentioned earlier. And also, of course, going to the Icertis website at icertis.com.
Well, I think the key takeaway from talking to you today is here in 2024, the most successful AI enterprises will be founded on innovation, not imitation. But I love how you brought to life some of the AI trends that enterprises should be aware of, how AI copycats will be inevitable, but they will be out-competed by AI innovators, and why companies need to build unique AI strategies that set new standards and, yes, push boundaries. But more than anything, just thank you for bringing all this to life today with your insights. Real pleasure talking to you.
Thank you. It was such a pleasure.
As we wrap up our conversation with Deanna today, I think it's evident that the future of AI and CLM is not just about embracing new technologies, it's about pioneering them. And I think Deanna's perspectives on the importance of innovation over imitation, combined with that strategic differentiation that Icertis is offering through vertical solutions and powerful partnerships, and the critical need for companies to forge their own unique strategies that transcend conventional boundaries. I think all of that, put it in a melting pot, I think it's provided us with a comprehensive look at the evolving AI landscape and what it means to enterprises. And I think the integration of AI, machine learning, and even blockchain technology is heralding a new era for contract lifecycle management, one where autonomous contracting with minimal human intervention is already become a reality. And as established innovators like Icertis continue to pave that way, I think the key takeaway for companies across the spectrum is clear. To thrive in an AI-driven future, pushing the envelope is not just an option, it's not just a nice to have, it is a necessity. But over to you. What do you see as the next frontier in AI innovation? What will it look like? How will it further transform the ways in which you conduct your business? And how will companies leverage these advancements to not only improve operational efficiencies, but also drive meaningful, ethical and sustainable growth? Over to you. Please share your thoughts and join the conversation on the future of AI and its impact on the global business landscape by emailing me, techblogwriter@outlook.com, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, just at Neil C. Hughes. But that's it for today. I'm going to sign off now. Remember, the journey towards AI excellence will continue. So let's keep this dialogue going and explore together some of those limitless possibilities that AI innovation holds for our world. And finally, thank you for listening, of course. Hopefully you'll join me again tomorrow. But until next time, don't be a stranger.